Hey guys, welcome back to yet another video here on Rev@less. I'm Sandeep and today we're going to be taking a look at the camera review of the Realme Narzo 10 smartphone. And before we get started, please do make sure to hit the subscribe button and also check out our Superfans program, which we shall link in the description and also pin a comment below. Now let's begin the video. The Realme Narzo 10 comes with a quad camera setup that comprises of a primary 48MP f1.8 sensor, an 8MP ultra wide angle f2.3 camera with 119° field of view, a 2MP macro sensor, and a black and white depth sensor. Realme has made a lot of changes since the X50 Pro 5G in terms of going for a more natural looking color palette as opposed to the heavily saturated photos that they produced in the past. There's a slight tendency to oscillate between having a warmer color tone or a cooler color tone in the images based on the subjects or objects in frame. Focus is quick and the shutter speed is also fairly quick, but one issue we found is that it does have trouble when focusing up close onto objects where it takes a lot of time before it locks focus. Dynamic range is pretty good and it doesn't go overboard and create artificial looking images, but using night mode even in daylight conditions helps to bring the highlights under control, without which they are at times blown out. Images are captured in 12MP by default, but you can also capture in 48MP as well. But doing the latter doesn't really help much as you have more noise with practically the same level of sharpness and detail, only the resolution and file size increases. Portrait mode has been a weak point for some Realme phones, and while they've made it better, there's still room for improvement. The same applies here too. While the blur itself is well applied and isolates the subject or object well, the edge detection could use some refinement. It does better in terms of objects but less perfect when it comes to subjects such as humans. It also does better with less curves and complicated backgrounds as expected. One thing I quite liked is that the blur doesn't just choose an object or subject and blur everything else out, but rather identifies the plane of focus and then applies the blur. In this image, the plant to my right is at the same distance and hence isn't blurred, but the plant at the back that's further away is blurred out. Low light imaging is decent but not too great, and using night mode here is a must as it gives a much better exposed frame, lower noise levels as well as better sharpness. Using night mode, the results are much better and good, and while it's not segment leading, it's still very much usable. The ultra wide angle camera is not too bad and doesn't immediately look out of place when you compare it side by side with images from the regular camera, but with that said, it's usually having a higher level of saturation, especially in blues, and a cooler tone compared to the regular camera. In well-lit and daylight conditions, the ultra-wide-angle camera performs well with good detail and sharpness as well as minimal noise, but in low-light conditions you can clearly see it deteriorate faster than the primary sensor. You also have the option to capture zoom photos in 2x and 5x using quick toggles or anywhere between by manually sliding the zoom bar. The results are good and you get much higher sharpness and detail than you would by capturing 1x shot and zooming in later. Since there is no optical zoom, this makes use of software stabilization and AI algorithms to get these results, and Realme has done really well here. You also get a macro camera which is decent but not great, primarily due to a low resolution and lack of good image quality. It does help you get closer to the action though, and is definitely better than having no macro camera at all though. The front-facing camera is a 16MP f2 unit that's housed in a water drop notch. The front-facing camera takes good photos with good level of sharpness as well as detailing, and the dynamic range is also good, but you need to get the distance right to get the optimal results as it is a fixed focus lens. The portrait mode is also good in terms of edge detection and blurring, but it doesn't do HDR along with it, which means that the highlights are often blown out. The phone can record 1080p videos in either 30fps or 60fps, or at least that's what the menu says. In our experience, recording a 60fps still resulted in 30fps videos, and digging deeper revealed that the Helio G80 chipset from MediaTek that's powering the Narzo 10 doesn't support 60fps video capture with the camera. Hence, I guess this must have been an accidental inclusion when using the camera software, and I think that they'll remove this with an update, although it would be even better to somehow get the 60fps capture if possible. It is quick to adjust exposure, but focus takes a bit of time, and the videos are decent but not great, and there's no EIS, the drop frames low bitrate as well, and this makes it less than ideal tool for videos. The front-facing camera captures 1080p 30fps videos as well, again without EIS. The mic captures good audio and also does a fair job at reducing noise and other sounds. Again, quality is decent but not worth talking much about. This is the front-facing camera of the Realme Narzo 10 capturing 1080p 30fps video with the front-facing camera. Let me know what you guys think about the overall sharpness, dynamic range, how well it's become my voice in this scenario, and the overall stabilization as well. While the camera performance from the Narzo 10 is decent and at times quite good, there are several flaws which makes it not so great, especially in this price segment. If you're buying the Narzo 10 specifically for the cameras, then I would suggest looking elsewhere, but if you're buying it for something else, then it's probably worth it. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, do let us know in the comment section below. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also check out our Super Fans program. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.